We want to know what's going on with our association, and Mary, we thank everything that you do, what you do for our people, what you do for our horses. We now hear the report from our AHA Executive Vice President, and ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Glenn T. Petty.
Thank you, Craig, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to follow Mary and go off script also. I'm into my 12th year with AHA. I have observed the Horsemen's Distress Fund. It is a wonderful organization and an asset to our Arabian horse community, and I'd like for us to do one more round of applause for the leadership of HDS. This is my 12th and final time to stand before you here at the convention as your Executive Vice President. Time's flown. But as announced in August, by the end of my contract, June 30th, I will be moving back east. I've thoroughly enjoyed serving you, the membership, and working with the staff and leadership of AHA. Since you've already heard, and I guess there's a clicker here. Since you've already heard from our treasurer, I'm not going to restate financials, but I am going to review some of our CapEx improvements over the last few years. During the last 7 years, we have spent $1.3 million on capital improvements. And this was done out of cash reserves, which meant it was done without debt. This has been for such projects as a new HVAC system, roof replacement, new lighting, computers, printers, servers, a new scanning system, new multi-view accounting system, website development, new software, and upgraded software, just to name a few things. We're currently in the process of replacing the original phone system with a modern voice-over IP system, which we have a projection of 25 to 35 years that system will last. The existing one that we have came with the building, which back, I think it was 1985 when the building was built. And so, yeah, Bill. Projects on our waiting list include new carpeting, cubicles, painting, and parking lot repairs. The list is quite a bit shorter than it was a few years ago. As our treasurer pointed out yesterday, the improvements have occurred concurrent with rebuilding AHA's cash. Our Arabian Horse Life magazine has continued to struggle financially, and the future of the magazine is under review. The major consideration is the cost of publication versus its value as a member service. This is the key consideration. We just finished a very successful local promotion on September 21st and a few other events that weren't on the 21st, which Nancy, our president, reported on yesterday. In order to interest more people in our breed, more promotion has to take place in our local communities by our members, breeders, professionals, and our clubs. Following are charts showing many years of trends. These trends continue to be very similar to our sister organizations. Our staff is getting leaner and consists of 40 employees, 38 full-time with 2 part-time. When I started 12 years ago, we had 60 employees. We're 2/3 of what we were then. Presently, we are under a limited hiring freeze. We will be filling the Director of Marketing and Communications position, but this will be done after the marketing department has been given an analysis as to the best structure that is needed. As I mentioned earlier, the future of the magazine needs to be settled. I am grateful for Kelsey Berglund, Director of National Events, for taking on the added responsibility of managing the marketing department on an interim basis. So thank you, Kelsey. For various reasons, we've had roughly a 24% turnover of personnel in the last 12 months. When I wrote this speech, started it, it was 24%. We've lost 2 employees in the last 7 days. A major factor is that Denver's unemployment rate is very low and the cost of living is high in the Denver area. This affects our entry-level employees in a big way. One other employee that I want to point out is Brenna Whitlock Johnson. She's our Youth and Family Services Coordinator, and her position has moved from marketing into national events, and that move has worked very well. Throughout the spring and summer and fall, 18 regional championships, 318 jointly recognized USEF AHA horse shows have been held. This is down from about 25 shows from about 5 years ago. It is felt this loss may be attributed to our one-day and value shows growth. There were 11 one-day and 96 value competitions recognized this year for a total of 107. 45 distance rides were recognized. For our national events, all continue to be stable. In the slide before you, U.S. continues to show a slight uptick in horses. Youth, a slight yet downward trend. One thing I'd like to mention about youth, Nancy mentioned yesterday that we had that we showed you the documentary that was produced by the folks from, I'll call it the State Department, but the producer and videographer and all were from Egypt. And when we were filming the native costume, I was sitting with the producer. And this is something I had never heard before, and I'm not sure, but he started pointing out native costumes. He said, that is Turkey. That one is Qatar. That one, each one had distinctive dress that related back to a country. One was a Saudi wedding dress. So I just thought that was interesting. Canada had a decline due to VS this year. There was 143 horses that were entered and eventually could not or were not allowed to go to Canada. Sport horse was fairly steady, taking into consideration the east and west rotation. Sport horse moved to a new venue this year at Balmoral in Crete, Illinois, and since I have joined AHA, every single one of our national events, except for Nampa, Idaho, have moved venues. So, and I think we have some pretty good homes now. The back button. AHA provides administrative support to the Arabian Jockey Club. in its programs through August 2019. There were 70 unique Arabian horse owners participating in racing. They raced for a total of just slightly under $1 million in 88 races. The Darley Awards were held back in Houston this year. It was a spectacular event and honored many horses, owners, and jockeys in Arabian racing. There have been several races throughout the year sponsored by Emirates Racing that hold large purse payouts. Distance Nationals was in Veneta, Oklahoma this year. It was again hosted 6 of our sister organizations' national events, and it was very successful, yet wet and cold. As you can see from the slide, registrations continue to be in a decline, both purebreds and partbreds, but half Arabians have started to stabilize, and in hopes we're trying to stem that downturn. In this combined slide for the all the breeds, you'll see that same trend. And AHA is working closely with our sister organizations, particularly the National Pedigreed Livestock Council, to try to figure out a way to get our registrations to turn around. Transfers continue to mirror registration trends. Common thinking between the breeds for this downward trend is related to the growth of discipline competition where breed ownership papers are not required. This is one of the reasons that we need to try to make all of our shows better and better so that we have a place for our registered horses to show. The Breeders' Sweepstakes program has made many changes that are starting to bring stability and growth to the program. As seen from this chart, the downturn seems to be turning back. This is great news since many sister organizations' prize money programs are struggling and some have just discontinued. The last chance buy-in for horses not previously enrolled in sweepstakes ended on October 15th and was a bigger success than anticipated. Originally, the estimate and what the commission had hoped was 600,000. It actually brought in 384 original entries, which totals a little over 1.3 million in new revenue to the program. For next year's classes at U.S. Nationals, 5 sweepstakes only classes, Arabian Stallion, Mare, Gelding, and half Arabian Anglo, Mare, and Geldings in AOTR Performance Halter have been added, offering $25,000 each for the purebred classes and $15,000 each for the half Arabian Anglo classes. Membership continues to decline for all sister organizations in the same trend as AHA. AHA presently has 16,507 members. At this time last year, we had 17,632. This is a decline of 6.3%. Our membership has been in decline for the past 10 years, and the decline has ranged from 4 to 7% yearly. Of our members, 59% have competition cards. Members join the association to conduct business such as registration, transfer to access transfers, and to access our online sections, to participate in competitions, or to join a committee or commission. We currently have 215 affiliate clubs throughout the U.S. and Canada. 10 years ago, we had 242 clubs, and in the meantime, 48 clubs disbanded at the same time we are getting 22 new clubs, and that takes us to the 215 clubs we have at present, one of which was added here at this convention. AHA leadership is going to be working with the new local and ad hoc committee to look at ways to promote Arabian ownership and membership at the local level. As previously stated, it is through our clubs, breeders, and professional stables locally that this has to happen. Well, I lost the slide. What I was going to, this slide was to be social media. And the slide depicted our success in reaching Arabian horse enthusiast members and potential new members through social media. And I really hate the slides somehow got dropped, but on Facebook, we have over 100,000 likes. Posts reached 117,593 in the last 28 days alone. Instagram, 12,900 followers, and 4,461 on the AHYA page. Email marketing, the average open rate is 21.3%. That is 4.3 better than the industry standard, and 460,000 total unique email views in 2019. Our convention attendance appears to be tied to our membership downturn. I think what I mentioned earlier about the clubs, since delegates come from clubs, that is a factor. And as seen in, as we've dropped from 500 eligible delegates 10 years ago to right at 400 now. To sum all this up, it's clear that AHA's work is never done, and we have our challenges ahead. In closing, I want to let everyone know I'm going to miss you. AHA has become a family for me, and I am, but I'm going to miss the leadership, the commissions, the committees that I've worked with, but especially staff. Some of my best friends are within AHA's membership, so I don't intend to just go away, and I will welcome the opportunity to continue as a volunteer in whatever areas I could be of service to the association. I'm excited for the Arabian horse's future. Join me in celebrating the Arabian horse, half Arabian and Anglo-Arabian horse. Thank you.